Hi there, Warriors, and welcome to this new live stream on the Uruguayan Heroes YouTube channel. And we are back to look ahead to the game against Canada. The loss against Iran wasn't great, wasn't nice for sure, but we are back to look forward to Uruguay's second game, last game in this international break, and the last friendly before the World Cup. And there are some changes in the side. We will go straight to them. You probably have seen them already, but I will just go to let's have a look. Uruguay Twitter, just to have, or maybe my Twitter, because I already also put it on there. Look at the lineup because there have been some changes, some good ones in my opinion, also some ones where I think maybe I would have done something differently. But this is a team. So Rochette in goal, Guillermo Farella replaces Damian Suarez in the center, Martin Cáceres and Sebastian Cáceres. Left back Matias Oliveira. Midfield, the two double cinco, the double pivot is Bentancur Valverde by the looks of things, and then Canobio and De La Cruz on the wings. And then it's a strike pair of Darwin Nunez and Luis Suarez. So on paper, first look, there are obviously some exciting elements to this team. Um, One thing I would do differently if I was in charge, I would certainly play Agustin Rogel and Leandro Cabrera ahead of Sebastian Cáceres and Martin Cáceres. Purely on the fact that I think the two first names I mentioned are better defenders, better players. But this is the decision of Alonso. So okay, Varela gets a chance ahead of Damian Suarez after Damian played last game and didn't do so well. Completely logical in my eyes. Canobio, who comes in for Pelistri, whether it would be Canobio or Ocampo, I think this is a good decision because obviously Pelistri is just come back from injury, wasn't brilliant, and Canobio and Ocampo certainly need a chance to demonstrate why they should be in this squad. Midfield of Bentancur Valverde, for me, double cinco with Bentancur and Valverde is not the ideal way because obviously these are two great players, but Bentancur certainly has proven in the past that when he plays in a two-man midfield, and he is the most deep-lying midfielder, which he certainly will be in this setup. He can be really get at. He can really be pressed at and make mistakes, be error prone, which we know he can be. So he always ideally has a another midfielder next to him who is certainly maybe more deep lying or even or otherwise on the same level in terms of where they are his position. And we know Valverde will be the one going to the attack and going box to box. So yeah, in big games, if we play like this, I think it will be a problem. I think we would need Ugarte or Torreira behind them. But in this game, let's see how it turns out. It's interesting to see for sure. De La Cruz, love to see him play. Tarasqueta, well, believe that he is not fully fit yet, because otherwise he would certainly have started one of these two games. But it seems like he's not fully fit yet, and that he is maybe getting some action in the second half, but certainly not fit enough to start. And then the attack, Darwin Nunez, Suarez, that's exciting, you know. I mean, Suarez has had his critics over the last few months, certainly when he went to Nacional. Didn't play an exceptional game against Iran, but he is there, and I think it's okay. I think we certainly will see Satriano come on and make his debut in the game. So we'll just have to see how this turns out. So I will first go into some of your comments. And Danny, I see you are there. Danny F. Why is Alonso starting both Seba and Pelado Cáceres and Rogel and Cabrera are okay on the bench? This is some bullcrap. I don't like it as well. I don't like it as well. I mean, I have to be honest, but I think we also talked about it last time around when we were live. That Alonso at the moment still has a lot of credit in the bank, so I will see how it turns out. Yeah, I mean, he used to figure some things out. He has obviously some ideas in his head for what he wants to see and how he wants to have a look at some players if they're good enough or not good enough. So yeah, we just have to see. I mean, Martin Cáceres playing. I think the fact that he's in the squad is a joke, but playing over Cabrera and Rogel, I don't agree as well as either. And Sebastian Cáceres, after his debut, which wasn't perfect, obviously he made a mistake in my opinion for the opening goal or the only goal. And Augusto Rogel, I think, came on and did really well. So logically, you would say Rogel gets the start, and Sebastian Cáceres is out. But okay, this is not the case in Alonso's eyes. So We have to deal with it. And Danny F says Canada is going to win. Well, I hope not. I hope not. I know Canada is well. They have improved a lot in recent years, and they are in the World Cup. Obviously, this really I think it hasn't happened for like ever. I mean, I'm just gonna look it up now because I don't want to be saying stuff that's not true. But I think they have maybe qualified once for the World Cup or something like this. But I cannot remember it anyway. Let's have a look. Canada national team. Maybe you guys know it better than me, but have a look if they have ever qualified for a World Cup. So should be here. Okay, they have in 1986. I see now. Okay, yeah. Well, the second time. That's a big thing for them, of course. They have Alfonso Davies, who is their star player, but it's not only Alfonso Davies. They have more players playing in Europe and also in the MLS who are doing really well, or in MLS or Americas anyway. So yeah, okay, Jorge, thanks for being here, man. Also, Danny and everyone I see in the chat or don't see in the chat, thanks for being here. Appreciate it a lot. And yeah, it will be a short video or short live stream, obviously, because the game is already starting in under an hour. So yeah, just have a quick chat about everything that's concerning Uruguay, and then we will watch the game. And by the way, sorry for the lack of posts or maybe replies on Twitter in recent days, but yeah, for the first time in like a long time, I'm returning to school and trying to do things right. So a lot of time I have to spend to this, and unfortunately, I can't spend on the Twitter account, which I would love to do. But yeah, that's why my posts have been less regular, and also the replies sometimes I just forgot or maybe did not come to it. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. So Jorge says, "Hey David, hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay, man. Hopefully you are doing as well as well. Hopefully Araujo can be part of the World Cup squad, but I don't think it will happen. Yes, I mean I didn't even address this at the start. I mean Araujo, yeah, I mean it seems like he's out of the World Cup. He's I think he's doing his operation, his surgery in Finland today. And yeah, it's really unlikely that he will be back fit for the World Cup. So yeah, we can still hope. I mean, we remember Suarez when he came back for the World Cup. But also, even though it was brilliant for us, it wasn't really a good thing in the long term because the return, the quick return, it wasn't good for his knee. And you saw that, well, in his career, he has had many problems afterwards. Before, none. So I do believe there is some correlation between him rushing back to be fit for Uruguay and then further on in his career encountering so many problems with his knees. So yeah, but anyway, the decision he's made, I think I agree with it because he's a young player who has the career in front of him. But it's not an easy one because obviously he wants to be for Uruguay at the World Cup. He wants to be there. He's doing so well, and he's still young, but he's also already at a great level. And I mean, how many World Cups can you play in your career? I mean, Suarez will play as fourth, but four is really as much as it gets basically. So Araujo having to give up a World Cup or potentially giving up a World Cup at the age of 22, 23, which means that this first World Cup will be at 26, 27. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do, obviously. So hopefully he can be back in time. But yeah, the decision he's made is a really sensible one. Although it really sucks, obviously, because he's our best defender, in my opinion, anyway. Jimenez, you can argue he's maybe better or on the same level. But consistently over the last 2 years, Araujo has really grown and grown, and his level he's getting at his peak, at this peak of his powers. I don't see any Uruguayan center back being better. So yeah, that's really a big miss. Jorge says, I wonder why Canobio is starting since Alonso doesn't consider him as a starter. Well, we will see what he comes out with Alonso after the game. Maybe some comments. I'm just excited to see him. To be honest, Canobio. He's not scored or assisted a lot for Paranense in Brazil, but he is a really regular part of a team which are at the top positions in the Brasileiro. I think they are fourth or fifth. They are in the final of the Copa Libertadores. I think they're also in the final of the Copa do Brasil. Maybe that's not true, but I thought they were. So one of the best teams in South America, and he is a key player for them in terms that he always plays, and he's also being lauded a lot by Scolari for his work rate and what he does in the team. So Yeah, he obviously is not a bad player. We all know that. Certainly, people who watch Peñarol or are Peñarol fans know that he's really an impressive player on his day. Yeah, El Pistolero, what is it? CB center back partnership? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really agree with it either. Jorge, how many substitutions did the teams agree upon? I'm not sure, to be honest, but I do remember that last game it was, I think it was three substitutions, but I'm not sure. I mean, it is a friendly, so there can also be a possibility that they can have five or maybe even unlimited amount of substitutions, because this is possible, and this is legal in most friendlies. But we will see. I mean, we will see. Um, Alonso has caught Cabrera three times and has played him. Hasn't played him once. Well, I don't think he. This is the first time in the final squad. He's been in the preliminary squads before, but first time in the final squad. And yes, you are right. I mean, I would have loved to see him get a chance as well. Really, certainly with the situation of Arajo now, and also with Godin not playing, still not fit. Jimenez also having one or two injuries this season once again. Cabrera is a player who is at the level, which is a good level. He's a starter or a captain even for Espanyol, which is mid-table, maybe relegation battling, but certainly a good Liga side. And he's the captain, and he is proving last season, also this season again, that he's a reliable centre back who is in an age where you can believe he is in his peak, around his 30s. And yeah, for me, it's also a strange thing to not give him a chance. But yeah, that's Alonso. That's his decision, and yeah, we will see we will see how it turns out. Ajay, hi there, man. Good to see you here. Says Martin Cáceres ahead of Rogel and Lele Cabrera is very confusing. You'd think Rogel would play considering he came in as a substitute. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I don't agree, understand either, but it seems like Alonso still has some loyalty towards the old guard, like Vecino as well, and Cáceres. I know Cáceres is really the old guard. Vecino is a bit younger, but these players who I believe after Tavares was sacked, I think these two players were on the top of my wish list of players I never would like to see in the Uruguay shirt once again. And that might be a bit harsh, but I think that many of us felt like this, and still they are being a part of the team. And Vecino playing a lot, and Caceres now also getting a chance. While it doesn't seem obvious to me why he should be chosen ahead of Cabrera, but yeah, I don't know. I don't understand either. So yeah. So Jorge Cepero says Uruguay is going to be exposed at right back in the World Cup. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously Guillermo Ferreira and Damian Suarez in this current situation, I mean, less physical, less quick, less agile, they will suffer against a player like Vinicius or Mbappe. But I mean, when we come up against these teams, Alonso will be absolutely sure to has his defense covered, and play with maybe a strength at midfield to help out, or maybe even call up Nathan Nandes and switch to a three at the back and play Nandes as one of the wingbacks. We don't know. We don't know. So obviously there is an opportunity or um, a there's a threat of us getting exposed at right back, because yeah, we don't have the recognized right backs who are proven to come up against Vinicius and Mbappe, and to put them in their back pocket. But yeah, we just have to see how this is gonna fall, how this is gonna turn out, because it's just really annoying that the injury of Arajo, um, obviously, he's a big player for us at center back, but also at right back. This was like really a good solution, maybe a frustrating one sometimes, because sometimes he played at right back against opponents which it wasn't necessary for me. But when you come up against the big guns like Brazil, like Argentina, for example, but I mean Brazil, especially in France, because they have such great left-sided attackers, then Araujo at right back would be just brilliant. I mean, that would be absolutely brilliant. And now, as this option seems to have vanished, it's really frustrating. Yeah, I have to agree with that. Okay. Nicolas Maceo, hi there, man. Good to see you here. It's frustrating to see this center back partnership. It's emergency defense lineup, but still an emergency could happen at the World Cup. Why not put others in who don't get playing time so we can draw a conclusion? Yeah, that's a good point you make, and also a point I think many try to make because why indeed not give Cabrera a chance? Because Martin Caceres, we all know what he brings and what he doesn't bring. Sebastian Caceres, we saw him in the first game. Now it's time to play Leandro Cabrera. But for me, it's like it gives a signal because Cabrera wasn't in the squad, and he came in because Coates dropped out. But even though he comes in as a replacement and Araujo drops out as well, um, he still not considers him because I just think that he thinks Cáceres, Rogel, Godin, Araujo, Jimenez, maybe I'm forgetting one now. The other Cáceres, Marti Cáceres. This is his options. These are his options. Because if he really considers Cabrera as one of his genuine options to play at centre back, he would certainly have to play him here. There's no other occasion where you can play him. So I think maybe Alonso has made up his mind on the defenders he wants. And maybe this is Cáceres, Sebastian Cáceres, Martin Cáceres, Godin, Coates, Jimenez, and then possibly Rogel. If Araujo is not coming to the World Cup, which is obviously very likely. So I think this is the case, which is also not something I agree with, but yeah, he's the manager, so we kind of have to agree with it. So yeah, Jorge says, "Isn't Varela like Alexander Arnold? He likes attacking but not defending." Well, I think Varela is offensively he's a really good right back, but I also think defensively he has things to offer. He's quite aggressive, I think. I believe anyway, and I think defensively he's okay. I mean, it's not like he's. I understand your comparison with Alexander Arnold because he's a right back, typically a right back he's playing at right back, but he's not a right back. He's a midfielder, in the way he plays. And this is the case for many fullbacks, or many fullbacks are wingers or central midfielders who move to the right or left back because modern football makes these positions so much more important in when it comes to building up and creating attacks or creating good pieces of play. So in that sense, yeah, you can draw a comparison with Alexander Arnold. You can, but I think Varela is more balanced. But let's get this straight. Alexander Arnold is obviously a better right back, but when you look at the profiles of both, Varela is more balanced in terms of the offensive and defensive side, and Alexander Arnold is obviously like a monster offensively, but really is not good enough for the top level when it comes to defensively. Yeah. Ajay says, in my opinion, Suarez wasn't that bad versus Iran. He was his usual self, trying to create something, but the team as a whole was lacking in the final third, which started in Qatar. Well, I think you're quite right because there was some criticism about Suarez, but I myself also thought he wasn't that bad. I mean, things weren't going for him in terms of his shots and the things he was trying for creating chances for his opponent. But it's not like he was bad, and I do agree that he was indeed lacking some help, some service, because we all know now in the last few years, Suarez is not this beast who can create everything on himself, which he used to be. He needs service, he needs help, and when he doesn't get this, yeah, we will get frustrated, and people will get frustrated by watching him. But it doesn't necessarily mean he played a bad game. It's just that he needs help. And last game, Uruguay were some passages of play were decent, were okay, but overall it was lethargic and it wasn't explosive enough. It wasn't creative enough. And if this is not the case, then yes, Suarez will become ineffective and also frustrated. So he will try to do things, but it's really hard to do this when you play against a low block and there's not really any pass on, any ball in behind or any like true ball in behind, which he tries to do. And if there's nothing on and he just tries to do something out of nothing, then it's not looking good for sure. And that is why people thought he played bad. I didn't believe so, to be honest. Um, Jorge Cepero says Canadians have said Uruguay will play their best 11. Okay, it could be. I'm not sure. I will just have a look at Canada's 11. It's not. I mean, I'm not gonna try to come across as there's someone who knows everything about Canada. That is not the case, so I'm not gonna act like it. Um, But obviously, we all know some players who are doing well on the world stage, especially Alfonso Davies. So let's have a look at our lineup. So, okay, Wha- from what I know, anyway, this is quite, yeah, this is their, like, probably the main players are in, like the key players are in. So could be the case that it's not their full strength best 11, but from what I see and what I know, which is not like all, and it's probably 50-60% of the team. This is pretty much could, their best lineup. But please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it seems like it to me. Okay, Jorge says no matter how they perform, 5 players are guaranteed in a World Cup squad: Muslera, Godin, Cáceres, Cavani, Suarez. Yeah, I think there are more. I mean, there are more obviously, but I do understand what you're saying in terms that these are the old guard who regardless of what happens, they will be there for the last World Cup. Also because of the importance they have to the team, like the team bonding and the unity and how do you say, the identity of the team and the national team. They obviously defend this. They know more than any other player in their squad about this, and yeah, they've been there for a long time. Um, but yeah, if we go further, we can also name Valverde. Well, let's have a look, by the way, because I wanted to put this up. I wanted to look at the squad, also just to look at the players who we're currently probably going to miss out. But yeah, when we are looking at our final 26, which is the amount of players we can call up to the World Cup squad, the goalkeepers for me are pretty certain. Rochette is the number one, and Muslera is going for sure, like you said, Jorge. Sebastian Sosa, okay, there might be an opportunity for another goalkeeper coming in, but I honestly believe these are the 3 goalkeepers going to the World Cup. Well, then you have no Josema, no Godin, no Coates, no Arajo. But if all of them are fit, and with Arajo, this is very much, well, in doubt, very unlikely even, these 4 will all go if they are fit. If Arajo doesn't go, Sebastian Cáceres or Agustin Rogel will come in. Then you have 4 center backs. But we probably need another one, and then we probably Cabrera and Martin Cáceres. So, sorry, Martin Cáceres, Coates, Jimenez, Godin, Sebastian Cáceres, and then Rogel or Cabrera. Five or 6 center backs will be in. Well, fullbacks, for me, it's pretty clear that it's going to be Oliveira and Vinha. Vinha is even here today and this week, while he's not even played more than 45 minutes for Roma. So he will be there. I'm really sure of that. Then right back, Damian Suarez, Guillermo Ferreira seems sure. So this is pretty much, well, we can all really name them up, and I think we can all agree on this. Vecino is sure, even though for me, I don't know if that should be the case. Bentancur is sure. Valverde is sure. Torreira is sure. Ugarte, De La Cruz, George de Arrascaeta. These are all names which we can just write down because we pretty much know this. And then there are maybe 2 or 3 spots up for grab in midfield slash attacking midfield. But yeah, that's pretty sure. And then we have Suarez, Cavani if he's fit, Darwin. These are in. Pelistri, I think he's in. Rossi, I also think he is in. And then there are a few names like Satriano, Agustin Alvarez Martinez, Brian Ocampo, Agustin Canobio, and we can go on. These are our names. They're up for debate, and that will still be really interesting to see who gets picked because there are some tough choices to be made. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at this comment from Flawless. It's frustrating to see. It's frustrating how he's not giving a chance to new players like Satriano, Cabrera, or even Ocampo. Yeah, it is. It is a bit. It is a little bit for sure. I really hope Satriano gets a chance in the second half. I really hope so. But it would be really nice to see him make his debut. Um, yeah, and I think it would be like a missed opportunity to not see him get his debut because we have 3 strikers in this squad at the moment. Well, genuine strikers. Rossi might be able to play a striker, but yeah, I would see these 3, Darwin, Suarez, and Satriano, as genuine strikers. So if you start Suarez and Darwin both games, you surely have to give a few minutes off the bench for the other remaining striker in our squad. I would really love to see this, and because I mean, the thing is, you call him up now, and you call him up obviously because you consider him for the world squad. So it's kind of like for kind of an obligation in my eyes anyway to have a look at him, even if it's 20 minutes. Have a look at him. What how does he do? Give him a chance to do show anything. And I know he Alonso sees them every day in training for the last week and a half, so he will have a clear idea of them. But we we also want to have an idea, right? I mean, obviously, it's not as easy as to manage a squad as it might seem from the outside. But yeah, I think we all would love to see Satriano get some minutes, just as we would have loved to see Cabrera get a start today, or Rogel even. So yeah, okay. So Benjamin Hernandez says hello, hello Benjamin. So yeah, so we will see. It's 35 minutes until the lineup, so I would just want to go on Twitter. Let's have a look what's going on there. Maybe some comments of people, what they feel, what they believe. Um, let's have a look. Okay, missing Arafalo Rios. I don't know about it. I think it's a reply to one of my tweets. Yeah. So this is I also mentioned it to you. I think briefly that okay, the double cinco from of Bentancur and Valverde is okay in a game like this. But when we come up against like the big teams who probably will have most of the ball, we really need his protection behind these two, because if you burden them with the defensive responsibilities, which normally an Ugarte or Torreira will take upon them, you really limit their capabilities and also their effectiveness on the offensive field, the offensive aspect, for them to really create danger for us. So that would be a shame in my eyes. Let me know what you think about that. Do you think that could work as a double pivot in a big game, or do you also believe that we should have well, certainly someone behind them, or yeah, like Ugarte and Torreira, which also Ugarte, that's another one, not playing today from the start, and last game he came on. If I'm no, he didn't come on. He didn't come on. No, he didn't come on. Torreira came on briefly, but he didn't come on. So that's a shame, because he has been one of the most informed Uruguayans in Europe this season. Certainly, he has two games in the Champions League, where he was, well, really good. And this is really an ideal occasion to see him, watch him play, and really to see him have a kind of a connection or a relationship with Valverde and Bentancur. Because Torreira, I mean, I would have still preferred Torreira to Vecino, but Torreira, we know what we get. We have seen what he brings, and Torreira as a player, however much I love him, because he's one of my favorite players. And I remember watching him at Sampdoria, and really week in, week out, watching games from Sampdoria against anyone, anyone. It didn't matter, because I really love to see him play. But with Torreira, his career was like this, and now it's been like this, and now it's going a little bit down and down and down even more. Because Galatasaray, even though it's a really big club, it's not the ideal move for him. What he needed to do is get back to a big European league, or remain in a big European league, because he was at Fiorentina, obviously, where he did really well, and try to be in a team which plays according to his style of play, really trying to play football, possession based, high pressing, and be in a team like Lazio, or maybe AS Roma, or even in Spain at Valencia, a team which might not be where they want to be, but we can play with week in, week out, and maybe try to get something of form and continuity back there. Um, yeah, to really get on the up again, because now Galatasaray, it's a beautiful club and a beautiful fan base and a really football mad nation, but it's not the ideal move for him, in my opinion. So what I wanted to say is, like, Torreira, we know what we're gonna get, but we want to see Ugarte. This was an ideal moment to give Ugarte a start. That has not happened, which is a shame. But yeah, that's the way it is then. Okay. Okay, Jorge says Portugal is looking good. Well, I think they won 4-0 like last night, or two games ago. So yeah, but I wouldn't be too how do you say, too frightened of Portugal. So yeah, I do believe Portugal is obviously going to be a difficult game, because they have many qualities, but they also have some weaknesses which we can exploit. So yeah, South Korea, they won 1-0 against Cameroon today. Goal scorer Heung-min Son, not surprising obviously. So yeah, they're one of our opponents, and I think Ghana is, well, they lost against Brazil anyway earlier this week. That I can remember, and they probably are playing today, later today as well. But anyway, so yeah, that is obviously interesting to follow the teams we are gonna play. But for me, um, yeah, it's yeah, we just kind of we have to focus on ourselves, and hopefully we can get a result today, because Iran was in a good game, and we obviously lost the first loss of the Diego Alonso tenure as Uruguay manager, and yeah, we have to bounce back. We have to. I mean, it would be a shame to go out in your last two pre-tournament friendlies and maybe lose twice or draw once and lose once. That wouldn't be good. Wouldn't be like the worst thing that can happen, but it wouldn't be good either. So yeah, no, I don't think so. No, Ismael Amengairas Rivoire. Hopefully, I killed that, but but maybe not. Uh, well, Ugarte also is in the bench this time. Cabrera too. Yeah, yeah. We were talking about it indeed, and you're right. That's a shame. Um, yeah, no, that's a shame. Hopefully, they can come from the bench. We will see. Jorge says, I don't think Torreira cares about playing at a big club. No, not necessarily. I don't think so either. But that's and yeah. So but that's why also okay, Galatasaray is a big club, but for me, like I said, I would have preferred him to go to Valencia, which is also a big club by the way, but who are in their league currently mid-table, trying to challenge for European football, and that will be like a really good project for him. To go there with Gattuso, some good young players as well, also Cavani, and to really start playing again. And maybe Valencia, he can play there, and maybe in 1 or 2, 3 years, Valencia is back at trying to get into the Champions League, which is obviously what they should do because they are a big club and they belong in European competitions. So that would have excited me more, to be honest. Um, Hello, Facundo. Good to see you here, man. Um, Leburu says, "What is your opinion on yet again Arezzo getting benched with no minutes?" Yeah, I mean, I was working yesterday, so I couldn't watch the game because otherwise I would try to watch it. But Arezzo didn't play, so I wouldn't watch it then anyway. But Ere Kabako played, the Uruguayan center back, and yeah, I saw they were losing. And Arezzo didn't get any minute once again. I think last time around he got 1 minute, I think. So I really don't understand this. It's when they were relegated, Granada, when they went down last season. I thought, okay, it's not nice because you want to see him in La Liga, but it's also an opportunity for him to play week in week out in his Segunda, scoring goals, developing. But then this season, I think he started 2 games, of which one uh, he played like, or both he played like 60 minutes, or even less, maybe. So he's not getting any continuity. Uh, Players like Jorge Molina, who's 39 years of age, getting picked up above him. It's not good, and I don't like it as well. Because this is one of our most exciting young players in the last 5 years, maybe, and he's getting to a club which is not giving him minutes, like Facundo Pelistri with Alaves, and it's just really frustrating. Because, for example, Carlos Benavides, playing now for Alaves, he's considered a starter there, an important player who's been there like 2 months, and he's already been considered a really important player for them. And they are also in one of the top positions in the Segunda. That is just brilliant to see, and that's also how it should be. Because a player like Benavides should get minutes, should start in a league like this. But Arezzo the same. Because Arezzo, if you give him some continuity, some confidence, I mean, he will bring you more than Callejon in the striker position, or Molina, because Callejon plays mostly in the striker position in Granada, while he's a winger. So yeah, I don't understand, but yeah, that's another topic of discussion. But yeah, I did see it, Leburu, and it really did frustrate me, to be honest. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna call it a night in terms of the stream, because in 25 minutes the game will be going. I'm gonna eat something, and then hopefully enjoy the game. Hopefully some goals, and a win, obviously. But yeah, Uruguay have to improve, get to have more urgency, not desperation, but urgency, and show more initiative on the ball, more courage, also trying to make things happen. And if we can see this, then it will be certainly an improvement on the game against Iran. So yeah, hopefully you guys are gonna enjoy the game as well. I might be back on after the match with a post-match reaction with you guys, but I'm not sure. So you can follow my Twitter, obviously, and I will tweet whether I will be live after the game or not. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, but hopefully we can all enjoy the game. And if I don't speak to you after the game, then I hope you have a really nice night and a nice week as well. Okay, bye bye.